On the evening of March 10, 2026, a family in Taiwan received a line message from their father. I had a mountain incident. Please report for rescue. Luan Da Shan. Then nothing. His phone went silent. This is the story of Mr. Wei, a retired man, a beginner hiker, and a mountain that does not forgive mistakes. Mr. Wei retired just 2 years ago. Like many people in Taiwan, he was busy all life, work, family, responsibilities. After retirement, he finally found time for the mountains. He started hiking. He fell in love with it. At 3:35 in the morning, a security camera caught him leaving his home in Renlun. He rode his scooter towards the mountains. His destination, Luan Da Mountain, one of the Taiwan 100 peaks, over 3,000 meters high. This mountain does not require a permit, anyone can enter, but the mountain does not care who you are, every hiker must take their own responsibility. He told no one where he was going. When his family contacted us, I started with the usual questions. Hiking experience? He only started after retirement. Offline map? Probably not. In fact, he had gotten lost on his previous hike. Headlamp? Unlikely. He always hiked light. Emergency plan? None share with family. The distance message said he had an incident in the mountains, but it said nothing about where exactly, no GPS coordinates, no landmark, no distance along the trail, just the mountain name. That is a very large area. I had 3 scenarios: injury on the main trail, got lost and got late, or got lost and then had an accident. The cell phone tower data would tell me more, but I did not have it yet. And the first 72 hours matter most. I woke up after 3 hours of sleep and I went to search. On day 2, 36 hours after his distress message, I arrived at the mountain. The official search teams were working the main trail. I went to look at the other options.
Here we are again.
Mr. Wei had chatted with a friend the week before about this hike. He also mentioned the old logging village. The friend told him there was another trail entry from the village side. That conversation may have planted an idea to walk down by the forest road on the way back. Since official rescue were already on the main trail, I decided to give a chance to the idea that he had lost his way on the second part of the forest road, coming from the old village side. I searched along the broken second half of the forest road, towards the ruins of old village, long, remote, with many landslides. His scooter was found parked near the gate at kilometer 17 of the Renlun forest road. Near that gate, there is a small memorial tower. It was built in 1961 to honor over 70 veterans who died building this road. Their bones are still here, in the mountains. Beyond the gate, the road continues deeper, but it's no longer passable by vehicle. I walked this section myself. I passed several landslides and ruins of old working houses along the way. The effort to build this road is almost impossible to imagine today. Construction of Renlun Forest Road began in 1959, under the Republic of China government. By 1960, a full working village had been established deep in the forest. At kilometer 37, at 2,600 meters elevation, Luan An Tang. Over 100 people live there. Offices, dormitories, a small temple, a machine room, electricity. And below the village, a greenhouse garden, the only place in Taiwan at the time where peonies were grown. 400 peony trees. The flowers were cut and sent directly to the president's wife, Song Ling. Even tourists used to come here by bus. Now you can barely walk the road safely. The village sits at 2,600 meters. The summit is only 500 meters higher. That gives you an idea how different this mountain felt from the eastern side. Today, all of it is in ruins. I saw remains of gondola cables, the lifts that once moved logs down the mountain. And I saw something else, a freshly cut block of wood, clean cuts, very recent. This is the work of so-called mountain rats. People who illegally remove timber from protected forest. It is prohibited now, but it is worth remembering. The logging companies themselves cut down enormous amounts of Asian trees. The mountain rats are taking what little is left. The old forest road is no longer used by hikers. All trail markers have been removed. Part of the road still serves one purpose: accessing a water source from the main river. There are actually 3 ways to reach Luan Da Mountain. The classic hiking trail from kilometer 17 of Renlun Forest Road, just over 6 kilometers, but it climbs from 1,500 meters to 3,081 meters, 1,600 meters of elevation gain. Steep, technical. The second road continues along this broken second half of Renlun Forest Road, through the ruins of old logging village. This road is too damaged even for experienced hikers. The third road comes from the north via Shonglong Forest Road, a longer approach, usually with a night or two spent in the old village.
Bye-bye.
Some hikers call Luan Da Mountain Weak Knee Mountain. After my first day of 27 kilometers with 2,250 meters of elevation gain of searching, I understood why. By now, I had the cell phone tower data. After 6:18 in the evening on March 10, his phone lost signal from towers in the south, in the Alishan area. But it was still connecting weakly from Puri and Samun Lake area, and his last tower on a peak called Jinlongsan, which I know well from my gravel biking. These towers all have visibility to the north face of the mountain. This told me something important. He had moved north of the main ridge. Around the 6-kilometer mark, it is easy to lose trail. It will lead you down into the creek on the north side of the mountain. There is also something unique about this area right now. The mountain bamboo, which normally makes off-trail movement almost impossible, had dried out completely. When bamboo dies across a wall slope, it opens up like a corridor. You can walk almost anywhere. That sounds like freedom, and for exploring it is. But it also means a lost hiker can wander very far, very fast, in completely random terrain. No path, no referent, just open forest going down. I mark the creek on the north side as my hot zone. On day 4, I went there. While I search, let me tell you what I think went wrong. Mr. Wei made choices that many hikers make. I am not here to blame him, but these lessons can save lives, maybe even yours. First, tell someone where you are going. Exact plan, trailhead name. Expect return time. His family did not even know which mountain he was on. Second, learn how to send your GPS coordinates in emergency. It is simple. 4 decimal points is enough. That one message could have saved searching teams days. Your phone already knows exactly where you are. The problem is, nobody else does. Third, always carry a headlamp, a real headlamp, not your phone as a torch. A headlamp keeps your hands free on technical terrain, and it does not drain your phone battery. Also, your phone is your lifeline. Do not use it as a flashlight. Fourth, bring a power bank and a charging cable. A dead phone is a dead connection to the world. I once forgot my cable at home, carried a power bank all day for nothing. Do not be like me. Fifth, use an offline map. Apps like GreenTracks or Mappy.com work without any cell signal. Download the offline topo map for all of Taiwan before you go. It costs nothing, it takes 5 minutes, then test it on easy hike first before you need it. 6. Do not go in bad weather. The mountains are always there. They will wait for you. And one more thing I always recommend. Carry a lighter. Or 2 if you go overnight. Not for cigarettes, not make fire carelessly, but in a true emergency, fire is warmth. Fire is a signal. Fire can save your life. In over 40 SAR cases I have worked, no missing hiker has ever done this. Please think about it. And one last thing. Do not be shy, ask for help. Call 119 in Taiwan or 112, which works across all networks. Do not wait until the last moment. Do not worry about being a burden. The people who answer the call, they won't help you. Day 4. 33 searches. Volunteers and professional teams. The mountain divided into zones. I work independently, in my hot zones, along the creek below the north slope. The creek has several smaller waterfalls, challenging even for me to climb. Along the creek, just steep walls and drops on every side. I was using the NetMonster app to compare my cell signals to his last snow towers. Deeper in the creek, the signal really matched, but it may just have meant I was on the north face. The area was still huge.
Nice.
I searched the creek and the slopes all morning. I used my drone to look under deep waterfalls and sections I could not physically reach. Nothing suspicious. Then I decided to climb back up toward the 3.8 km mark, near the old observation tower. I met another team near the ridge. They said they had heard a whistle below. Then I continued down alone and spotted a group below, whistling and calling out his name. My heart started racing. I moved carefully through the terrain to get closer. Then a message from the family came through. These volunteers from Taichung had found something. A black visor, some snack wrappers. They belonged to Mr. Wei. I joined the group. We kept going down, checking both sides of the creek.
Peter, 跑上车。也许帽子哪里？帽子哪里？帽子。哪边？OK， 谢谢小姐。
But then I found something that brought a small hope. An old forest road, or rather, an old forest railway, not recorded on any map.
That's crazy.
This kind of track was used during the logging era to move timber down the mountain. If Mr. Wei had been wandering here, disoriented, looking for a way out, he might have found this road. That gave me a little hope. He could still be alive, even though the mountains were freezing overnight. The railway led horizontally, at the same elevation, toward the river on the east. There were ruins of a working house. I went to the river and called out his name.
Renlun!
No answer. I went back to the group. Meanwhile, two brave searchers had set ropes at the end of the creek and rappelled over the edge to look down. There, at narrow base of a 20-meter waterfall, they spotted Mr. Wei. He had not survived. The wall under the waterfall is over 100 meters high. He fell 20 meters onto the first ledge, located 250 meters below the ridge with the main trail. The next day, the professional rescue teams used a scat and ropes to lift him to the top of the waterfall. Then a helicopter brought him the rest of the way down. He came home, back to his family. So what happened? He most likely got lost near the 3.8 kilometer mark. There is a relatively flat open forest area near the old observation tower. It was getting dark, he had no headlamp, no light at all. After the examination, it appears he may have tried to call for help, but the signal was poor. If you are ever in serious trouble in the mountains, call 119 in Taiwan or 112. He kept going downhill. That is the instinct, find a way out. But that is always wrong. On terrain like this, going downhill randomly almost always leads to a waterfall or a cliff. There is no safe way down except the trail you came from. His phone was found in the zipped pocket of his jacket. His bag still had food in it. The fall was fatal, and it happened that first night. This mountain is beautiful. People come here for a day hike to the summit, or for 2 days, spending a night in the ruins of old village. I understand why people come here. But the mountains do not care how fit you are, how early you started, or how determined you feel. You have to take responsibility. You have to prepare well, and sometimes you have to give up, turn back, cancel the trip. The decision is not failure. The decision is wisdom. Mr. Wei loved hiking. He found something in these mountains after a lifetime of work. I respect that deeply. I hope his story helps the next hiker come home safely. The mountains will always be there. Be ready when you go.